We're live. All right. Hello, everyone. Okay. It's been so long since I've done this. I can't remember how to see how many people are watching. Okay, 0. That seems right. Awesome. So, hi, everyone. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and welcome back to the Teacup For One Wednesday night movie chat live shows. This is so much fun. So, if you're new to the channel, just a little bit of context. Earlier this year, I did the Great Movie Ride Marathon. So it was a 3-month-long movie marathon where myself and some other incredible YouTube creators who all have a love and appreciation for Disney and films, we watched a different movie from the Great Movie Ride, a defunct Disney World attraction. And we watched one movie per week. We did video reviews about them. Then we came all together. And we got someone here in the live chat already. Okay, it's Luke, everyone. Yay. We love Luke. Many meows, Luke. So yeah, as I was saying, so for the Great Movie Ride Marathon, we came together and we did a live show once a week where we had a chance to chat about the films, and then we played some games inspired by the films. And it was so much fun that by the time we got to the last week, which was The Wizard of Oz, we realized, you know what? Lots of people love The Wizard of Oz, and there are so many other great Oz adaptations out there. Let's just do a whole month dedicated to Wizard of Oz movies. And that is what we are kicking off tonight. We got some more friends here. Hello, Seth. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Ajanaclair. We're going to see you soon. There we are. So how Oz Month is going to work is it's pretty well exactly the same as the Great Movie Ride Marathon. We've got a schedule of 4 Oz-inspired movies, and then every Wednesday night we're going to be coming together to discuss them. And tonight we are starting things off, I don't want to say strong, but we're starting things off with Muppet Wizard of Oz. I love the Muppets. I love the Wizard of Oz. You would think I would love this movie, but we'll get there. So before we get there, I'm going to introduce you to our lovely guests for this evening. Some of my favorite people and favorite creators out there on the internet. Okay, we're going to start with Lauren. Lauren's back, everyone.
How are you?
I'm so good. It's so good to see you again for the Wednesday night live shows.
I know. I feel like I was at a loss, having not done a film a week.
I know, me too. What did I do with my Wednesday nights? Well, I was watching Loki. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Yeah. So, Lauren, give us a little recap. Tell us about you. Tell us about your channel. No, Zoom. I don't want you to update right now. Tell us about you. Tell us about your channel. And then, just tell us what you've been up to over the past 5-ish weeks since we last saw you.
Yeah, well, Castle Escapes and Clones, we do a lot of different things. We like to say we discuss everything in the Disney universe. I do a lot of unboxings, hauls. I love to do pin things like pin tags and just showing off pins. I do Disney news and Disney reviews with my cousin, who is kind of my co-pilot in this adventure, and he has his own program called Hyperspace Hijinks. And it's a good thing. I in terms of what have I been up to, just doing YouTube, and that's pretty much it. I wish that I could. Oh no, I did go to Disneyland.
How could you forget that?
Yeah, maybe I should remember that. But that was a really good time. Loving Adventures Campus, and so that's it.
Exciting. Oh, and before we bring in everyone else, I need to know, who is your favorite Muppet?
Miss Piggy.
Good. That is the correct answer.
That is.
Yeah. Oh, she's my top. Always. I love her. We got some more comments here. Lion, roar. Red shoes. Click them together. I know that's not how it goes. There we are. All right. Next, we have our friend Tinker J787, aka Jeanette. Welcome back, Jeanette.
Hey.
Hello. So for all the nice folks watching who may not be as familiar with you, tell us, who are you? Where can we find you? What have you been up to since our last live chat?
So I'm Jeanette, and over on Instagram, I have all things Disney for our family. We're Disney World annual pass holders. We go as much as we can. That should be somewhat rather soon, fingers crossed. So, and lots of other things, homemade Disney treats, life in Maryland, beach life, things like that. So it's just a little grab bag of things, mostly Disney.
Amazing.
A celebration of all things, but mostly Disney.
It's a nice Muppet reference. I respect that. Oh, we got fan favorite Martha has joined the chat. Hello, Martha.
I missed you, Martha.
Oh, she missed you too, I'm sure. Oh, wait, what do we got here? It says saying, those were the only Oz-related emojis I could find. Ooh, Seth, I actually have done research for this. The other Oz-applicable emojis, there's a twister, there's a house, there's an axe for the Tin Man, corn, which I like to use for the scarecrow. That might be it. I know when we did Oz Month, I gave everyone an emoji, and like I was able to source like almost 8 or 9, but you have to be like really stretching there. But there we go. And yeah, Jeanette, same question. Favorite Muppet?
Favorite Muppet? I'm always torn between Rizzo or Pepe.
Oh, neither of those are
both
Piggy, but I respect the answer. I respect the answer. All right, and we're going to bring in our final guest for this evening. It is Ajanaclair of Being Ajanaclair.
Woohoo!
Yay! Hello. Oh no, Ajanaclair, you're on mute. Do I control that? Do you control that?
I do.
Oh no, I muted you. There. Okay. There we go. Wait, can we hear you now?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Perfect. Ajanaclair, tell us all about you. Who are you? What is your channel? What have you been up to since we last saw you here in the teacup realm?
So since we last chatted, I started a Loungefly small shop series. So you guys know I do a ton of Loungefly and cocktail content on Being Ajanaclair. So I started a small shop series, and I just kind of highlight the Loungefly bags that I buy and highlight the shops that I get them from, which has been really, really fun. Really kind of getting to know the nitty gritty of like, the small shops, and just sharing that information. Basically, it's information that everybody can find. It's all on a website.
Oh, yeah.
But it's stuff that nobody ever reads, right? And it's the stuff that people complain about. And I'm, I guess just kind of my OCD levels, I get triggered when I hear people complaining about things that are like right there in their face. I'm like, but that's the rule. It's in writing. It's right there.
I totally get that.
So I started sharing that. And yeah, we're just doing more cocktails, and I'm probably going to start doing some more lifestyle type vlogs. I got a Velocore, Bowflex Velocore bike. So I thought it'd be fun to like do some bike rides and kind of like start like my weight loss journey on my channel. So I might share some of that stuff, I have no idea.
That's so much fun. It's just it's you being Ajanaclair.
It's just
right
me being Ajanaclair. Exactly. Plus, I have like a whole closet of things. People seem to like decluttering content, and I really need to declutter my life. So I was like, but I can't decide. So I was thinking about doing some like live streams in the future where instead of doing like a vlog of decluttering my closet, I have you guys join me live and we declutter my closet together.
I would love to declutter the closet together. Oh, I have so much. If I ever did a decluttering video, it would take that would get me all of my watch hours for monetization. That would fill the 4,000. That would be it. Yeah. Even in this room right now, I put myself against a nice blank wall, and I'm not going to ever do it. If I were to turn the laptop just 90 degrees, it looks like a twister.
I know. I'm like, I need to move this camera down an inch so you don't see that very top shelf. There we go.
Yep, there it is. Just controlling the vision. There we go. Oh yeah, but exciting Loungefly news in one of the Oz groups that I'm a part of that I frankly just joined so I could advertise things like this. But as like an Oz fan, it's a group I'm very happy to be a part of now. They just posted that there's an Oz Loungefly that's coming out soon.
Yes. It just came out. You want to see it?
Yes, let's show us.
Let me pull it up.
I mean, it's not the Loungefly that's going to get me collecting them, but I still like looking at them.
It was actually a little disappointing to me in terms of, I thought they could have done a lot more with it.
That's kind of what I thought too. Like I was excited to see that there was an Oz Loungefly, but
yeah. It's like one of those things where I'm complaining about it, but I'm going to get it because it's I have to get it because it's the only one that exists.
Oh, of course.
There it is.
Oh,
that is really cute.
It is nice. It feels kind of basic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They could have more structure.
for the
Yeah.
first Wizard of Oz bag, there should have been so much more. Like the yellow brick road should have been more golden and more like. I mean, they bling out Loungefly bags. They put glitter on them. They bedazzle them.
Mhm.
You know, it's like crazy because on the castle where you see those like little dots, they look like little brown dot, like little green dots. They're like 4 randomly placed rhinestones on Emerald City. And I was like, okay, let me see if I can
throw a sequin in there.
Yeah,
let
exactly.
me see if I can enlarge it. Because it was just so like, I don't know. There are times lately where Loungefly has release bags, and I'm like, whose lazy butt was on your design team that created that? Look at this. It's like 4 random jewels on the Emerald City.
They're not
like,
symmetrical, and it's really bothering me.
Are they real emeralds? That's the only reason to have 4 of them.
And it's like,
That would be worth it.
it would have been better off. Like the bag would have been better without those, right? Like it would have been better without those. Or Emerald City should have been like sequins or glittered. Like it should have sparkled, not fake sparkle, and not 4 haphazardly placed jewels.
Exactly.
Well, we'll get to things that could have been done differently with Wizard of Oz in just a minute.
Yes, we will. Wow, speaking of segues, well done. Oh, actually, but first things first, this in the honor of Oz Month, my mom has a ton of old pictures of me embracing my Oz love as a child. So I told her that I would make it part of these live streams to share at least one per show. So before we start talking about the Muppet Wizard of Oz, I'm going to show you one of my greatest Halloween costumes. Let's see if I can do this right. There we go. That's little Matt as the Tin Man.
That is too cute.
Yep, I came in first place at the Pizza Hut Halloween costume contest, which
What?
I was very happy with. Yep.
Where'd you get?
Yeah, we got free pizza. It was a big deal. And and my mom, shout out to Martha, she sewed that entire Tin Man costume and reportedly she still talks about it as being her greatest accomplishment as a Halloween costume maker. And she says that it was the most difficult pattern she ever had to work with. It had like over 100 different pieces that she had to cut out and whatever. So shout out to Martha. The costume lives on. It is beautiful.
Yes. That was made with love. 100 different pieces. What is that material?
I'm not sure. Martha, let us know in the chat. What was the material? I just remember it being this metallic, shiny fabric of some kind.
As long as she didn't paint you and you were about to die because of your silver body.
No, it wasn't aluminum dust. It was aluminum paste. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
we didn't ask Ajanaclair who her favorite Muppet was.
Oh yeah, Ajanaclair, who's your favorite Muppet?
I don't have a favorite Muppet. I would say Kermit.
Okay,
Kermit.
classic. Very good,
I don't
very
really
good.
like Piggy. She's noisy.
Oh, I love Piggy.
No.
She's
Do you have a favorite decade of Kermit though? Like, because he's
Ooh.
very different. Like from the 70s to the 90s to now.
I'm probably thinking like old school Sesame Street Kermit.
Around that time.
Yeah. So Jim Henson
late
voiced
70s.
Kermit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still adjusting to the new Kermit voice.
Me too.
Like, I don't dislike him the way I know a lot of hardcore Muppet fans do dislike him, but it's still going to be a little bit of a curve. And that happened when they transitioned from Jim to Steve Whitmore to Steve. So it's just going to be a matter of getting used to it. Oh, we have an answer from Martha. It was silver metallic fabric and it was terrible to work with. I don't doubt that. Hey, speaking of terrible, let's talk about Muppet Wizard of Oz. Here we go. Oh, wait, hold on.
Matt.
Hello. We have a friend. Okay, so,
you
maybe I'm being too harsh on it, but here we go. So, just to start, let's just describe our initial thoughts of Muppet Wizard of Oz just with one word before we get into it. Just pick one word that best describes how you feel about this film. My word is why. Lauren.
Jaunty.
Jaunty, okay. Tinker J. Jeanette.
I don't know. Oh my gosh. Anticlimactic.
Okay. Ajanaclair. Straight out of the gate. I love it. Okay, so before we get to what we didn't like about it, because I have a lot to say. Let's start.
I have
let's
a
start off
feeling I
positive.
might like it the most.
Oh, really? Let's start off positive. Let's start with what are the things that we did like about Muppet Wizard of Oz, and I'll start because there are some things that I did like as much as there's a lot I don't care for with this film. The things that I liked, it was cool seeing a film adaptation of The Wizard of Oz that retained a lot of wackier elements from the book. Because me being a giant Oz fan growing up, it was mostly rooted in the movie, but I also read the books. I loved the books, and there's so much potential that the 39 movie cut out. Stuff like giving equal emphasis to the four witches is a big deal in terms of the magic politics of Oz, which is something I've always found interesting. So we kind of got a bit of that. I really like that we got to see the wizard in 4 different forms. I didn't like how they did the scene, but I like that it existed because I think that's one of the cooler things from the movie. And actually, this is kind of the saddest thing, but I preferred all the scenes in Kansas to the scenes in Oz. Everything with Queen Latifah and Uncle Henry, David Allen Greer.
That's who it
is. Yeah, I loved the two of them. I almost just wanted to watch an entire movie of them waiting for Dorothy to come back just in their diner. Because those two, they have the vibe and the energy you need to perform with the Muppets. And I loved them so much. And I'm so happy that they got to do the Wiz live and redeem themselves in the world of Oz a couple years later. But those two were my favorite. Loved them. All right, who wants to go next?
He's so great.
Jeanette, how about you then? Tell us, you love David Allen Greer.
I do love David Allen Greer, so I was happy. That was the thing. There were a lot of moments, like most Muppet movies, where peppered throughout the movie, you're like, oh, I love that person. I'm so glad they're in this. Oh my gosh, I love that person. I'm so glad they're in that. David Allen Greer was one of them. Quentin Tarantino was another one. Jeffrey Tambor was another one. People who make me happy to see in there. And then the people that they're playing are good in the movie. My general thought at the beginning and really through the whole thing was Muppets from Outer Space is my favorite, non-just Muppet, somewhat based around something else. My favorite one other than this. And Treasure Island. Everybody knows those are masterpieces. This wasn't quite there to me. I felt like those were a little bit better, and maybe I don't know what that is because of the time period they were done in or whatever. Christmas Carol, I mean, obviously everybody knows that one's good. As the movie went on, I felt like they just rushed through things a little much. I was like, oh, we're already at the poppy scene. How long have we been watching this movie? How are we here already? I didn't read the books, but I kind of know some things that could have been the magic politics and all that. I know about that. So it was cool to see that. I feel like the music was really forced, really, really forced. All of it. I didn't feel like any of those songs were genuinely supposed to be in the movie. It was just here's a song. So yeah, that's why I say anticlimactic. I was like, well, we know what's going to happen and you're not giving us anything new and you're not even really doing much to jazz it up. So I don't know. That's kind of where I was at on that part. I did like all the cameos and I thought the Muppets parts were great. They were being who they are, and I like that Pepe was in it. That was
yes.
I like one that Pepe's big in no matter what.
Pepe is Toto. That was a very smart move.
Yeah. I was very happy when she said that at the beginning. I was like, oh yeah, he's going to be a main character. This is fantastic. I'm so happy.
Loved it. All right. Oh, we got some more friends here. Mike Hyde. Hola to you as well, my friend.
Oh, Mike. I miss you.
Hello, our Muppet expert. All right, Lauren, things that you liked.
Okay, things that I liked. I liked the fact that they had Miss Piggy play all 4 of the witches.
Yes.
That was fun. I also agree about taking the elements of the book and putting some of that in there, like the rats were kind of the mice.
Yes.
That helped save them from the poppy fields. I liked Poppy Fields. I thought that was kind of a fun. Although I always like anything that has Dr. T. So and Electric Mayhem. Let's see, what else did I like about the movie? I'll just stick with that for right now until we get to the parts that
I love these comments. How have I not seen the movie? I haven't seen this.
Don't.
I've never seen it either. All of you are better off.
Don't.
We're going to be more entertaining. Ajanaclair, what did you like in this movie?
So I thought I was going to like Ashanti being in the movie because I actually really like Ashanti. I think she has a beautiful voice. I love her as a singer, and I don't think this was her first I don't know if this was her first acting gig or what, but yeah.
Kind of
I like the concept that it kind of stuck to the movie, but had like little different like elements. Like the poppy scene wasn't an actual poppy field, but it was like conceptually. So I thought that was kind of fun. So like overall, like to watch it with my 4-year-old, it's about the same as the shows I typically watch with my 4-year-old. So
that's a perfect way to put it.
I was just so confused. Like it's hard to say what I like because I was so confused about things. Like,
oh, then let's transition right here, right now. Let's transition into what we didn't like.
There were so many things I was confused about. Okay, so the first thing I was confused about, like the biggest thing was, and I wasn't sure, like, this movie was done in 2005, and I couldn't understand why it looked so low budget. Like, everything looked so low budget.
Yeah.
Like, even the scenes in Kansas, and I'm like, the movie that they did in like the 30s.
Well, this is the thing to me.
More realistic than this, and like all of the like transitions, like the whole house scene where the storm.
Oh no!
Like Ashanti is like the world's worst actress ever. Like what? I had to wonder. So then I was confused because I was like, well, maybe they intentionally, like, almost I felt like this had to be intentional, right? Like it had to they intended for it to look low budget, and they intended for her acting to be so bad because like,
because what other explanation could there be?
I couldn't understand why they would continue beyond what, like, how did she make it past the auditions? Like, and there were like legit actors in this movie, right? So like nobody could have thought like this was good.
Right.
You have Queen Latifah, who is like an amazing singer and actress. You have David Ajanaclair. You had
Doesn't sing one.
You had amazing actors in this movie. So nobody could have been watching this go down and think to themselves, this is good, unless this is what they intended for it to look.
And I think that's the saddest thing. And this is like, I've written out, I haven't done my review video yet because Jungle Cruise messed up my plans. But like, most of my video is going to be about how I would have fixed this movie. And I think the big thing that's missing is that it is so bad for all of the reasons you just outlined, but it's not self-aware of how bad it is. And I feel like they could have made almost the exact same movie, but it would have been funnier if it was the Muppets making the Muppet Wizard of Oz, and like they are making a really bad made-for-TV movie, and they have to do stunt casting and get Ashanti as Dorothy, and like they're going out of their way to be as different from the 1939 movie as possible, which felt like something that was very evident when anytime they came close to saying a phrase, like they didn't say yellow brick road, they said road of yellow bricks, like tapping the heels together. They figured out the one other way you can tap heels together without it looking like Judy Garland going ch, ch, ch. Like there were so many choices that were so deliberately them trying to steer clear of like the Wizard of Oz movie that we all know and love, that I think they could have just had like a Muppet lawyer on hand the whole time with the book being like, no, they're silver shoes. Then they like swap out the shoes, or like we see Miss Piggy doing frantic costume changes to play all 4 witches instead of just having 4 individual people that are awesome. Like that would have been great. And it was such a waste of Ashanti because it wasn't playing to her strengths. It was playing to her weakness, which is acting.
I was like, girl, did you watch this? Like, did you watch a tape? Like, I would have been like, you know what? Fire myself, because you guys are not putting this out there for the world to see. Like, no way. And, you know, when Quentin Tarantino popped in with Kermit, like, I was like, So I thought it was like, oh, so is this a making of the movie kind of movie? So they're not really, this isn't really happening. Like, what is happening? Like,
They were trying to like break some fourth wall that we weren't aware existed because they hadn't done the normal Muppets thing of like already mentioning the fourth wall earlier in the movie, which Muppets usually does.
Right. What was bizarre
all of a
was
sudden
like all of a sudden Quentin Tarantino's in the movie, and you're like,
where did you come from?
I think they needed to have I feel like that was added at the last minute because they realized just how terrible and terrifying that scene was, and the only way to kind of add Muppet levity was to have it be like it was from the brain of Quentin Tarantino. Because I was sitting there already really shaken that we saw them murder Kermit Scarecrow, like tearing him apart, and then that really sad, awful shot of just his dead Scarecrow body lying there and his head looking like
Tin Man.
And Tin Man.
The first 5 minutes of the movie, they like explicitly kill, resuscitate, and then kill again a character, and I'm like, that was really unnecessary. I don't know. And I put it in my notes. I was like, this is like really dark. And then as the movie went on, I was like, this has the most inappropriate, like I'm obviously not offended, but inappropriate, the highest count of inappropriate jokes I've heard in a Muppet movie, like maybe ever. I was like
the sexy
wow.
chicken.
Well, like I wrote down some of them. I'm trying to see.
Oh yeah,
like,
tell us the list.
I don't know. I'm trying to see. Well, first of all, it's not really like inappropriate, but I did think it was really funny when he just straight up says nipples, and I'm like,
yes.
What? What was that?
Oh my gosh.
And then, oh god, the sexy lady CGI before the chicken. I was like, what is happening? This is really bizarre.
Like Kelly Osbourne came out the machine, and they were like, "Oh, I thought you were going for a hot, sexy Ashanti."
I know. I was like, oh my god, poor Kelly Osbourne got back then especially got so poked and prodded, and here she is just playing along with it. I was like, oh my god, like what's going on? That was another one. I was like, oh, I'm so happy to see her in here. Too bad it's literally just to like say, oh, you wouldn't want to look like this. I'm like,
that's terrible.
What is this about?
Although I thought the Osborne Oz pun was one of like the few clever things that was in the movie. I can't remember how they worded it, but they were like, oh, you're in Oz. Now you're an Osborne.
Yeah. The Beaver and Bunsen scene was one of my favorite Muppet parts, just because it is a movie where they could have been lost or not really incorporated, whatever, but it just makes me happy when they take the time to incorporate them into their own scene and they're getting to be themselves, you know? They're not repurposed into some other characters. So I thought that was a cool scene. But yeah, there were just a lot of, and like now I'm trying to think of them, but there were like times where they almost like curse words, which is like rare. And they made a Girls Gone Wild joke. I was like,
yeah.
Oh my god. And I'm like, again, I'm not offended. I was just shocked that it was in it because I know this was not a Muppets movie that was aimed at adults. Surely.
I don't know who it was aimed at.
I don't know. You're right. I don't know who the target audience was on this one. But yeah, that was shocking to me. Things, as far as the top thing that I didn't like was the color of the slippers. I mean, obviously, that's
not a fan of the classic silver.
Is that what it is in the book? See, I told you I didn't read the book. I didn't know that. Yeah, no. Yeah. Okay. For me, that was a big problem. It's like, what's going on? And then there was no Over the Rainbow. I was like,
well, it's not even that there was no, I think this was something that really threw me, is that there was no Over the Rainbow, and there was such a lack of music overall, especially for having Ashanti as like your headliner, to have her barely singing.
And Queen Latifah.
Yeah, you had Queen Latifah.
She was in your movie?
And then to not have anything like any kind of Yellow Brick Road equivalent song, because like Judy Garland, we have Follow the Yellow Brick Road. The Wiz, we have Ease on Down the Road. Whatever it is, you need some kind of. It's just so weird to me to see that scene with no music pushing them forward. Just like it's so awkward. Of do you want to come with us? Okay, then they just walk quietly. Like
Yeah, you talk about anticlimactic.
Anticlimactic.
Yeah.
And what's funny is Ajana's word was the one I almost said confused, and I was like, I mean, I knew what was going to happen, but at the same time, no, like confused as to why it was happening the way it was happening.
Yeah, and it was lost on me that Toto was the prawn until she ran back into the house, and she's like, I have to go get Toto. and she's like, it's a shrimp. And I was like, what? And then she gets it. And I'm sitting there watching this like, okay, if that thing still has water in it at the end of this ridiculous scene, I'm going to be really upset. Because there was no way that bowl should have still had water in it. I mean, she was just tossing about it. I was like, oh my gosh.
That was actually the one scene where I thought to myself, I already had given up on her as an actor by that scene, but I just thought, no, like even Meryl Streep couldn't sell this, holding the bowl on top of water, being like, don't worry, Toto, don't worry. I'm going to be a famous singer, and then I'm going to get us out of here. It's like, you're talking to a shrimp. Like, it was just so awkward.
And yeah, I thought I did love he was in it. Pepe was in it, but that was about as big a shoehorn as you can get. That's a big shoehorn. I don't know how else you get him in there if he's on. Because I looked at the poster and I didn't really know. I looked at the picture for the movie and I'm like, okay, well, who is Rizzo and who is Pepe? And I just assumed Rizzo was going to be Toto because that visually makes more sense. But yeah, that was an interesting way to bring him in there.
No, definitely. And what really stood out to me was, just to sort of summarize everything that we've said was weird, is that this just reminded me of how bad TV was in the early 2000s. Like late night tabloid, TMZ, Osbourne's, everything. This movie just hit me over the head with like what I was watching in high school, because there was nothing else on TV. And there was no internet really to entertain me at the time. Just like, what's on at 11 o'clock at night? Oh, just trashy shows shot on video? Okay. And then they just did that, but with Muppets. Yes.
Pretty much.
It was so bad. Like, it was just like, even just like the visual of the movie, like just watching, I'm like, this looks worse than like, it looks like it was shot with like a home camera, like, you know, back when you had the cameras that had the big VHS cassette tapes.
Yeah.
I'm like, did they use professional? That's what I was like, was this movie just intended to be like a whole complete spoof? But even for a spoof, it was like, but I don't think, like, it was just like when you saw Spaceballs, you knew that was intended to be a spoof off of Star Wars, right? Like, you expected that. But even that with bad acting wasn't this. Like, this was just bad.
I think this was also part of the reason it was so bad was because of all the CGI. Even though I know like the really CGI heavy scene with the wizard kind of had a air quote payoff at the end when they revealed like why it looked like that, but like Muppets and CGI don't blend. That
was awful CGI. That was like, this is 2005, and that pretty much looked like the CGI they used in Spawn. Like I'm like, that's what this looks like. And nobody's selling me on this. Video games hadn't looked like that for years. That was like bad. And to Ajanaclair's
background,
point,
this looked like they had a giant poster on the wall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like the imagery of the rest of the movie, where was this shown for? It was TV, right?
It was made for TV. It was ABC.
Yeah. And I think that at the time, because you did have those good Muppet movies in the 90s, mid 90s to probably late 90s. Mm-hmm. And then you didn't have until these newer Muppet movies. I feel like there was a lull in Muppet interest. So I think Disney's interest in putting money into them was not as strong. And that cast, I feel like maybe already, I mean, Queen Latifah, especially at that time, to be, you know, that couldn't have been a small amount unless they just did it out the kindness of their hearts. I don't see anybody doing this for that. So I think maybe that has a lot to do with it.
Considering how few scenes they were really in. Like it, like I mean, their roles could have been played by cheaper actors, and then you could have had better like movie
Everything.
quality stuff. Like
Yeah.
because it was just so bad. Like when she got to Oz, I was so confused because I'm like, this movie was done in 2005. Like, why am I looking like I'm looking at like 1975 graphics?
Not even 1975, it's like 1945.
So then, what would you do to fix the movie? Like for me, if I had to make almost the same movie, it's like I said, I would just frame everything as though the Muppets were trying to make a made-for-TV movie instead of them actually being the characters. It's them playing the characters, because I think that's one of the other things that made me weirdly uncomfortable, was that they were going so far off character for what they're normally like. Mostly Piggy as the Wicked Witch of the West. Like, she was just so unpleasant in a way that's so uncharacteristic of Piggy. Like, Piggy's usually unpleasant, but she's not as manic and mean as she was as the Wicked Witch of the West, like outright trying to kill Ashanti with her giant spinning saw thing. And yeah, and like even Tin Thing Gonzo with like, no, those are my nipples. It's not a costume. Like, this is just me. This is my body. It's like, no. Like, I needed the Muppets to have more self-awareness and them to be performing instead of just them being the characters. And then they could have just spent the whole movie like trying to teach Ashanti how to act and have that be a joke. It's like, you're the token human. You need to be like the best actor in the film. That's your job. Because this made me reflect on all the other humans that have acted with the Muppets, and they're like top shelf, like Michael Caine, Tim Curry, Diana Rigg. I mean, like you, and then Ashanti.
Yeah.
And even if they had let her sing just a little bit, just give her and at the very end, the thing that got me, I know I said let's talk about how to fix the movie, but I'm going back to things I'm remembering that annoyed me. At the end, when she was on Oz TV and then she was about to sing, I was like, good, here it is. And then she stopped the song.
Yeah,
It was like, no, here's the lesson. I was like, I don't want the lesson. I know what the lesson is. I've watched you for an hour and a half. Just do what you do best. Please sing me a song.
Yeah, that was a lost chance, the music, and not letting her. I think that's what upset me about No Over the Rainbow, was I was like, you have Ashanti. Here's a chance for a wonderful version. And maybe it was on a soundtrack somewhere and they didn't put it in the movie, but then that begs the question, why didn't you put it in the movie?
See it on the soundtrack.
Yeah, so I'm like, again, to your point, Matt, they were trying to move as far away from some of the norms in that story and that movie as they could. And I think that I would change that. I would bring it closer back to things people are familiar with. And honestly, I could have taken, even though I like the people they put in it, I could have taken more Muppets in it and not just the ones that you're already familiar with. Usually they have some opportunity to introduce, like in Christmas Carol, you saw a bunch of silly little Muppets that they made just to fill the space and make it cool and all that. Like, I think this could have had a lot of that. I think having the Munchkins be rats was kind of a miss. You could have had something awesome. I don't know. I'm like, more Muppets, less human time. I don't know. That would have been, I think, like you said, I just wanted more of them the way that we know them.
I think I heard that something about they're very protective of what they did in the 1939 film. So things like the silver slippers. That's why they have to do movie slippers. They had to do silver slippers and take it back to the original book, because the movie slippers are a product of that film. Yeah. And there's so much that is a product of that film that isn't related to the book. And I think that's where they kind of had some problems, was that they had to differentiate it from the movie, like you said. And I think that was for legal purposes.
Oh, for sure. No, and
I
think
was okay with that. Like, the color of the slippers didn't bother me. Like, the little changes that they had to make to make it different. It was that to me was like, this is clearly it's Muppets, so you would expect that. It was just, I mean, Ashanti being the human person in this movie, like, really set the tone, and it was just so.
Yeah.
It was definitely a product of the time in which it was made. But I think it'll be like thinking about the other films that we're going to be looking at during Oz month. They all have to deal with the same issue of the 39 film being so iconic and burned into everyone's mind when they think of Wizard of Oz. And all those films did a much better job at how they approached it. Like Oz the Great and Powerful is in no way legally tied to the 39 movie, but it feels like it completely exists in the same universe somehow, even though like I read somewhere that the tint of the witch's skin had to be a different green from what they used from Margaret Hamilton, because like that's how like precise Time Warner is when it comes to starting lawsuits about Wizard of Oz. And then like if you look at The Wiz, that is so good just on its own, and it like is just fully embracing the book, like all the beats, the silver slippers, the four that gave us four witches. The four witches. And like in those instances it works, but for whatever reason I don't know why the Muppets weren't able to just make it work, because it's not, I mean, I don't want to say it's not difficult. It's probably difficult, but it's not impossible, because so many other Oz movies have created a decent Oz world while skirting around getting sued by Time Warner, that the Muppets should, have their stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really what boils down to is what Ajanaclair is saying about Ashanti, that she just couldn't act, so that set the tone. And then the other thing is that Melly Mel,
we love you.
That the music in all of the Muppet things, there's like classic music that we all remember, and this is the first one that I don't remember any music. I mean, what's weird is if they weren't going to do any music, then don't put any music at all. You know what I mean? But they put like a song here and a song here, and it was like 3 songs in this whole movie, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
No, and even I felt like the song that opened it with her really low budget music video had such a kind of negative tone, where just her complaining about Kansas is like, I've got to get out of Kansas. And I know that's the vibe that Dorothy has story wise, but just something about the song and the music video just set the wrong tone for the character of Dorothy that they were creating, where she just felt so like, I didn't like her. Like, I got that she wanted to get out of small town Kansas. Like, that all makes sense, but she seemed really snobby about it without any redeeming qualities.
Well, there wasn't even an introduction as to why, right? It just went right into she wants to get out of Kansas. I mean, in the original Wizard of Oz, like, we knew why. Like, even in the Wiz, like, there's a backstory. There's something that happened. She got yelled at. She got punished. She got, she had to do something. Not just, I live in Kansas and it sucks and now I want to leave. Like, there was something to kind of like make you sympathize with her desire, Dorothy's original desire to leave Kansas. But this, it just kind of jumped right into it. Like, oh, okay, all right. So because you know the movie, we're just going to jump right in and presume that Dorothy just wants to be out of Kansas.
Yeah, I think it also didn't have the whole movie, and I'm kind of like just now realizing this as to like the common theme of the things that it has wrong. Like you said, Ajanaclair, you're like, we already knew the story. So I think, and returning to what I said earlier, I think they rushed through it. And then I think in the end, it makes it not have heart. And I think if any story has heart, it's Wizard of Oz, usually, literally. I mean, like, it's about one of the people is getting a heart. And like, it usually is a warming feeling at the end of Wizard of Oz. Things are, people realize things else, and they kind of even shirked at that at the end. Like, oh yeah, what you wanted was here all along, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, no, this is one of those stories where we're not supposed to think of that as a childish thought. That's supposed to be the point, right? Like, we're supposed to all be happy and fuzzy and all that. And I never got that at any point in this. I never felt like, a childish, heartwarming feeling. which I think Wizard of Oz is one of the stories where it's like okay to be that way.
Yeah.
And this never really had that heart at all.
No.
It was just kind of going through the motions. Because I mean, the storyline itself, like for what it was being a Muppets movie, I didn't have many issues with the concepts and in each of the storylines generally. It was just the execution was horrible. The set was horrible. I'm just like, I just feel like their movie budget went on things that they didn't need. Like this movie would have been the same without Queen Latifah and David Allen Greer. Like,
I would have liked it a lot less.
Yeah. Like I said, that was one of the things that kept me going. I'd be like, oh my God.
It's like, I got to get home. I got to see Auntie Em and Uncle Henry. I need to redeem this. Bring them
but
back.
like they could have just put their money into like other things, and I don't know. I'm just like, who did that audition?
Well, I'm guessing it was one of those cases where they probably didn't audition her. I'm sure they just offered it to her,
wanted her. Yeah,
they were like, she'll probably be okay. And then once she got to set, they were like, well, the contracts have been signed.
I was wondering, and I did think about that. That was something I sat there and thought about. Like in 2005, conceivably, who would or could they have gotten to be potentially a better actress, but someone who all of the two songs she sang both sounded the same to me. They didn't. There was nothing different about those two songs, and we all know she's a wonderful singer. Like it could have been great. So I'm just like, I did think about it, and I never really came to a great answer because it's kind of past the Britney Spears time. But
I like
it's
this
not
question. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, like it's not quite, Lady Gaga wasn't on the horizon. Like I don't know who was the person at that time that could have potentially been an America's sweetheart type person, but also been edgy enough to do like
Brandy, Monica.
Brandy.
It was a little bit past that time though. It's 2005,
but they were still better actresses.
Yes.
Oh,
and they were still great singers.
Absolutely.
Well, no, I think Brandy is a perfect example because I don't think she's the strongest actor, but when you look at her in Cinderella, she was directable and she gave a really nice performance that they were able to edit around, and they got some really genuinely nice acting moments out of her, and then she carried it with her singing. And I feel like Brandy could have carried this movie, the exact same script.
She's got some comedy chops too.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
She was
she had her own TV show, for God's sake.
She was
she better be decent.
I think
Oh yeah, my vote is now going to Brandy.
I'm like trying to think, like I can't even come up with another good answer. I feel like at that time it was a lot of either groups or it was more like hip hop artists that were popular, or you're not going to pick like a rock star type person. There really wasn't that many women doing that, like that were huge at that time anyway.
Kelly, so it's like Destiny's Child. There's so many.
Destiny's Child would have been freaking perfect. Anybody from that group, to be completely honest.
No, Michelle.
All three of them.
Not Michelle.
No, Michelle.
No, not
Michelle.
Oh, poor Michelle.
They definitely, they would have been better off, like saving their money on Queen Latifah and David Allen Greer and pulling that to get Beyonce.
Yes.
I think she had just been in an Austin Powers movie, so maybe they were.
True.
But I mean, she's a bad actress. So I'm just like, as great a singer as she is equally a very bad actress.
Yeah,
it's not as bad as a Sean Hero.
Yeah.
No, true.
I think Kelly from Destiny's Child would have.
That's not a bad choice. She was always my favorite anyway, so it's okay.
I wasn't paying it. Well, I've never paid attention to popular music, so I couldn't tell you anyone. My first thought was pop singer who can act, Mandy Moore, but by then she'd done A Walk to Remember and she was like a dramatic actor, so I don't see her with Muppets.
Yeah.
Fantasia Barrino would have been perfect.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Because these are all people that just like have I don't know, the only word I can think of is the energy to be with the Muppets. I just feel like they can exist with them. Even if they're not naturally comedians, they just have that energy, that sunniness to them. And Ashante is just, I don't know, like, not that she's not sunny, but she just feels more relaxed, I think, or more laid back than the kind of person that I want to see carrying a Muppet movie. She's the kind of person that makes like a really great cameo in a bigger Muppet project to just show up and be like, hey, I'm Ashante.
Yeah.
But it's like, if she had like better acting skills, I think she I feel like she had the persona to pull it off. Mm-hmm. It's just when she started like saying certain lines, it was just like,
yeah. But also the script wasn't helping her.
No, and it felt like they literally would like say go and stop when she was delivering lines. They'd be like, okay, say it now. And then,
and it was like even like her facial expressions at certain times where she was supposed to be like making certain facial expressions. Yeah. It was like, can you like find your motivation, girl?
I think we spent so much time making her so unlikable at the beginning that by the middle of the movie you're like, oh, who cares? Who cares? You know, that's how I felt.
Yeah. So then overall, like, what do we think it takes to, like, what are the qualities that we want from the one human actor in a Muppet movie? Like when we think about Ashante versus the ones that worked better, like the Michael Caine's or the Tim Currys, like what is the it factor for the one human in a Muppet movie?
Well, and I think you have to be able to act with Muppets. I think that's a big hurdle for anybody. It's not as bad as green screen acting or whatever, where you have a little tennis ball on a stick, but it has, I mean, I'm not an actor, I don't know, but it must be disjointing to have somebody down here and the thing you're talking to is up here and the voice is coming from down here and you're like, what, you know, that can't be great. And you kind of have to be a Michael Caine to like make it really appear as though that you're having a heart to heart with these things. And I don't think she connected. So I think you have to connect with an inanimate object or a slightly animate object. You know,
I think you also have to have a sense of humor about it too.
Yes, it was like you could feel that she was like, it was like she was being almost like being too literal about it. So it's like you have to accept that they're Muppets, but you have to also accept that they're your co-actors. Yeah, and you have to interact with them as if they were just another human.
No, definitely. I think that's exactly it. Because I remember Michael Caine just famously said that he approached Christmas Carol like he was acting with the Royal Shakespeare Company. And he said, I went into this just completely resolved to treat them like I was acting opposite like Ian McKellen or Laurence Olivier, because that's the only way that the humor lands and that it works. Because if you act like you're playing opposite a puppet, then all the humor is just kind of gone. And I rewatched Great Muppet Caper, which is my favorite Muppet movie. I'm kind of in the minority there, but I love Great Muppet Caper. And that movie is so funny because like Diana Rigg and Charles Gordon, Charles, the Beethoven dad guy, those two are so committed to the Muppets that they're acting opposite. And like Charles falls in love with Miss Piggy. That guy acted with a dog.
He's good.
That's true.
Dogs and Muppets. I mean, he's got to be good.
He's a king. He's fantastic. But I'd never realized as a kid just how hilarious he's being when he's just completely obsessed with Miss Piggy, where he's like, she's outstanding. I love her so much. And then Diana Rigg is like, oh, she's fine. She types about 60 words a minute. I'm like, this is brilliant. This is genius.
Well, and if you notice... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that movie has one of the funniest scenes in all of the Muppets. The one with John Cleese and...
Yes.
They're climbing up the thing, and she's like just in their house, and they're like, oh, what, you know? But they don't. It's so hard to explain it without.
No, it's so funny. It's like these two. It's this super posh middle-aged British couple, and Piggy's trying to break into their house so that she can pretend that it's her house, and then they're having dinner, and then the wife is like, you know, it would be really nice if I went out with you one day because, you know, I haven't left the house in 12 years. He's like, well, you're not really missing anything, darling. Trust me. It's like, I know, but if you go out to the house, then maybe I could go with you. Yes. I think that's a pig. climbing the outside of the house, dog. A pig? Yes, I think so. Yes, that's the chap. That's the chap. It's so
my God,
dry
I
and it's
wrote
so
that down.
funny.
It's so funny. You have to watch it. If you haven't seen that scene, you have to watch it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you notice, the next really successful Muppet movie, like large Muppet movie, was the newer ones, right? The ones that Jason Segel did, and he famously is like, I mean, he's been in love with them his whole life and thinks that it's like the greatest thing that exists. You know, like the Muppet, he has huge respect for the Muppets and stuff, and always wanted to act with them, so it works because it's genuine, right? So I feel like that reads on the screen for any of the Muppet movies.
Yeah, like I think my favorite Muppet movies are always going to be kind of that era, mid to late 80s through to early 90s. Like I think that's just where everything lined up really beautifully. And it's also amazing just how good some of the movies were after we lost Jim Henson, because I would have assumed that would be when the Muppets would kind of start to lose their way. And things definitely changed, but I think it was still being handled by people who understood the humor and who understood the heart that you need for Muppet things to work. And then I think that's slowly started to deteriorate over the last little while. Like, I don't mind the newer Muppet stuff, but it still doesn't feel like classic Muppet
Not
to
as
me.
good. Yeah, it's not as good. I think also, again, like with the Christmas Carol, the amount of practical effects and the more things that you can physically affect, like in those original ones when they had to rig the bicycle up and they had to figure out the log in the water and how to make that work, you know, all of that pays off and it feels more real. And I think anytime you can do that with the Muppets, because they are physically there, it makes a big difference. And
Absolutely.
the CGI, the shot at CGI in this movie, I think was a real swing and miss. That was bad.
No, I think that's exactly it. I think a big part of the magic of those classic Muppet movies just comes from how uncomfortable they made themselves to just get the shots. Because I have that the DVD of Muppet Guys Talking, where they were like all the original Muppeteers are talking about the process of just creating the style and like the lengths they went to, and they were talking about one shot that they had to get, and I can't remember what it was for, but it was all the Muppets sitting around a campfire, and they had to dig a huge ditch essentially, and then cover it up, but then like pipe in a propane tank right in the middle that all of them were like huddled around, that they were puppeteering while there was like literal gas 2 feet away from them, and it was terrifying and it worked. So I think what I'm saying is things are better when we put people in moral jeopardy. Yeah. For the sake of the puppets.
I love that.
Yeah, but no, like seriously, I think the part of the Muppet magic comes from like the characters themselves, but then just also, yeah, like you said, all of the practical effects, because I think those are things that you notice without noticing. But then when they're gone and you see something like Muppet Wizard of Oz, that was, and I mean, again, it was lower budget. It was a TV movie, so they couldn't do, I'm sure, as many cool things as usual, but it felt more like a studio Sesame Street-esque production where it was just empty space, puppet, and that was it. Like, we didn't get any of those cool Muppety things like the Muppets riding the bikes where you think, how did they do that? And then there it is.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hold on, I'm going to check my list. Wow. I feel like we addressed everything I wanted to talk about with this movie, but so I mean, we kind of addressed this. So how do we feel about it just as an Oz adaptation, separate from Muppets? Just this is an adaptation of Wizard of Oz.
I think it touched on everything it needed to touch on, but like we said, it moved through the motions too fast. And it didn't, it was punctuated. I didn't think it gave all of the elements the care that it needed. So is the story there? Yeah. Is it a good adaptation? I don't think so, because it lost everything that is kind of the point of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
said what she said.
Okay.
That's basically my 2 cents as well.
Yeah, no, it felt to me like one of those things where just as an Oz adaptation, I thought some of the choices were cool, like turning the poppy field into a like club or an opium den, essentially, which is what it is. And it sort of rung to me as one of those situations, like something that you see a lot with Shakespeare or with musicals, where when you go in knowing a piece so well, part of the fun becomes how are they going to interpret this specific like production of it.
Mhm.
But then I think the other trap that we kind of touched on is that not many people know the original book and those plot points as well. So when you have things like the rats rescuing Dorothy from the poppy field, if you know that that's a thing that happens in the book, you're like, oh, that's a cool connection because the Munchkins are the rats and the rats are the mice rescuing her. Oh, brilliant. But if you don't know that, then you're just like, oh, okay, that's funny. Muppet mice. There it is. So in some ways, this movie was almost too smart, but in most ways, it wasn't well thought out. So there it is. And we've already kind of talked about how we feel about it as a Muppet movie. Oh, okay. I'm curious, though. What is everyone's favorite Muppet movie?
Oh, mine is the Muppet movie.
The Muppet movie?
Yeah, that's from straight out of my childhood. I mean, like, I like the other two that came after it, but the Muppet movie is always going to be I watched that movie so many times in the theater.
Nice.
Mine is the Muppets. It's funny. It's my favorite, but I don't never know if it's Muppets in Outer Space or Muppets from Outer Space. But that one's my favorite. But very, very closely followed by Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol is probably the one I could watch the most often, and the music in that one is the best of any. I mean, that's like it's my favorite Christmas music and my favorite Muppet music. So it just ticks all the boxes.
That is the best Christmas Carol adaptation, which I was planning to do a whole video about last year, but then I caught up in making my own Christmas Carol adaptation, which is going to be rebroadcast this Christmas season. Watch for it. Yay! I actually edited it together in like one coherent 45-minute long thing. So I'm debating whether I want to just release that or do 4 episodes spread across 4 weeks again. Who knows? We'll see. I got off topic, but watch my Christmas Carol because it didn't get accepted to any film festivals. So you can only see it here. Yay. Ajanaclair, what's your favorite Muppet movie?
This is the first Muppet movie I've ever seen.
What?
What?
Well, don't let it
Oh my
scare
God.
you away.
No, don't let it
please.
scare you.
None of
Don't
them
hate
are.
the Muppets because of this.
None of them are
The
this
crazy
bad.
thing is, I feel like I have a few of them on DVD from the Disney Movie Club.
Nice.
Okay, then right now we have to curate for you like the classic Muppet watching, just so you can get a vibe for what the Muppets are supposed to be like. Yeah, so I think definitely, I mean, my pick would be Great Muppet Caper and Muppet Christmas Carol to give you a sense of like those two different sides of the Muppets, like Muppets in
Okay.
their own environment, but then also Muppets when they're performing a well-known text. So those
And
are
if
my
you want to see them doing something like this, but doing it actually good, Treasure Island.
yes.
A story that you're familiar with,
Yeah.
you know what's going to happen, but it's actually being executed well and has fantastic music.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty much all the Muppet movies. We're telling you to watch
Except
all the Muppet
this
movies.
What?
Because I was going to say the Muppet movie to me, you have to.
Yeah, that's
Because
the
that's
best. I mean, that's the best introduction of any set of characters I think you could ever ask for.
Oh yeah, it's
and
classic
the music
Muppet.
of the Muppet movie is that to me is the like Rainbow Connection,
Yeah.
my favorite song of all time.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Which Muppet movie is it that he finds Rolf in the piano bar? Which one is that? Doesn't he
That's
find-
Muppet.
That
That's
is the
the
Muppet
Muppet
movie.
movie, yeah.
Okay, I always get the Muppet movie, Muppets Take Manhattan, and the Caper. All of those do this in my brain. I get
Oh, yeah.
them so confused.
Yeah, me too. Because they're kind of they're not the same movie, but they're definitely all
They
like
look so
distant
much
cousins.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
look so visually the same, and that's good. It was a
Mhm.
a contiguous universe.
Yeah, it's Muppet cinematography at its best. So again, the polar opposite of this. All right, so with that, now that we've spoken about Muppets, it's time that we move on to our game. Yes.
Woo!
So if I can get the technology to work for this game, we actually have visual aids.
Ooh.
Let's see here if I can do this right. There we go.
Nice.
Okay. So I need to do this. So for this game, I am going to show you a Muppet visual, a Muppet parody of a well-known film, TV show, or play. You have to tell me what they are parodying, what they are parodying. Yeah, what the parody is of. There we go. Okay. Oh, I have to get my scoreboard. And this was so much fun to research. I loved it. Okay.
So it's film, TV show, or play are the options?
Yeah. Actually, I can't remember if I used any of the pictures of TV shows, but it might be a TV show, just so you know. So it'll be a play, a movie, or a TV show. Not guaranteeing that TV show is there, but there's definitely films and plays. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the visual. Feel free to play along in the live chat. Okay, here we go. Some of them are more obvious than others. So here we are. Starting. The Undergraduate. What do we think the Muppets are parodying with this image?
Oh God, I don't know.
Here we
if you
go.
can
Do we
read
have
that.
to name the film?
Yeah.
I got it.
That
Got it?
does
Okay,
say
let's
what
see your
you think
answers.
it says.
Oh wait,
In
I have the
3?
name. Yeah, that's my answer, but I didn't write it down.
Okay, I believe you. So
oh,
did
sorry,
everyone say
whatever
The
that said
Graduate?
on my screen. Just...
I thought we were saying whether it was a film,
Oh,
TV show, or play.
No, don't worry.
That's what I wrote down.
Don't worry. No. Slightly more complicated. No, you just tell me the title of the film, TV show, or play.
Okay.
No, I felt the need to clarify that so that you weren't racking your brain thinking it's a movie. It's definitely not one of these things. So
I
Here
know.
we
I was like, oh, that's a film. Here it is.
you get a point. There we go.
Your way
All right.
makes more sense, though.
All right, next.
Oh,
They get harder. I started things off easy. Okay, we've got one vote for Superman. Another Superman.
Superman the movie.
Oh, Lauren, well done.
Is there another
point and
Superman?
a half. I think that was the full title of the movie.
Oh, what have we got here?
Wait, was the original Superman called Superman the movie?
I think it was, yeah.
The original, the Christopher Reeve.
Oh, and to answer Jen's question here, most of these, fun fact, I think some of them were purposed for Muppet Vision 3D, but a ton of those Muppet movie poster parodies that we all know and love came from a string of calendars that came out in the 80s. Who knew?
Cool.
I know. So there were a bunch of really hilarious calendars that came out in the 80s and also kind of the early 90s that gave us these. So here we are. Next.
Oh, I know this.
Oh,
Geez.
no. I'm drawing a blank.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
All right,
my-
Lauren, let's see. Annie Hall is correct.
Okay, I don't even know what that is, so I would.
Yeah, no.
No, it's
I was
Woody
about to
Allen
guess all
and
the
Diane
things,
Allen
man.
film.
yeah. So Piggy is Diane Keaton in her classic
Yeah.
Diane Keaton pantsuit. And I don't think I've ever seen Annie Hall either, but apparently it's a classic.
It is. It's funny. And she was an icon, Diane Keaton.
Oh, she still is. We love Diane.
Yeah.
No, a fashion icon at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for that style.
Oh, that just made a joke in Friends a lot funnier.
I don't
Now
know
you have
Diane
to serve
for
the
her
joke.
fashion sense.
Says that when Chandler is renting a celebrity tuxedo for his wedding, and then he gets Val Kilmer, I think, Batman suit, but it's too big for him. So then they find one that fits, and it turns out it was Diane Keaton's. Oh, okay. Next.
I think.
Mhm. I also want to point out just the hilarity. Like, this is filled with tons of hilarious puns, but my favorite
Oh my
is
God.
also starring Rattly Wood.
Rattly wood.
My
Rattly
finger
wood.
handwriting is awful.
All right.
Wait,
Stop.
I'm reading
People
the
are touching.
poster. I know it's Rebel Without a Cause, but guess what I write?
What did you write?
What did you
Oh, I
write?
can't see it. I can't see it. Hold on. Can I full screen you?
21
21
Jump
Jump Street.
Okay, well, I'll give you the point anyway.
That's
21 Jump
hilarious. Oh my god. It does look like 21 Jump Street. Oh my
I didn't.
god.
I wrote that before I read this side. I didn't even
That's
read
so
this side.
funny.
I would pay to see that. That would be
Oh
hilarious.
my
Okay,
God.
next. Oop. Come on. There we go. Wait, did I? Yeah. Okay.
Wait.
Oh yeah, finally one I got.
Yeah.
Okay. We want 1 vote for Greece, 2 votes for Greece. Lauren, what say you?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Greece, you're all right. I made this too easy.
I think so.
There were some that were super obscure, and I might have
Yeah,
actually
like Annie.
Annie Hall. Actually, true. I didn't make them too easy. Okay, what's next?
That's how I proposed to my husband.
I don't even know if I got the title of this movie right.
Oh, I just realized that she's choking him. That makes this even funnier.
I don't know. I don't
can't
even
see-
know if I got the. Oh, it's 4 weddings and a funeral. I said 2 weddings and a funeral, so I got it half point.
Oh, I'll buy it.
Halfway.
Oh, Ajanaclair, I can't see. What did you say?
4 weddings and a funeral.
We're
I think I got the number right. I couldn't remember. How many weddings now?
Let's see. Here we go.
Our wedding or your funeral.
Here we go. Okay. Next. Oh wait, we have some votes here. Martha, 4
3
weddings and a funeral. Come on. You rented this for me. Come
It's
on.
across the board. 2, 3, 4.
2,
One of
3.
them.
It's-
Oh, you. Oh, that's not that direction that letter goes. My finger handwriting is just terrible.
Okay, Tarzan is correct.
You said it 3 times. Now he's gonna swing across the screen.
Is that how this works? Is he like Beetlejuice?
He's like Beetlejuice.
Okay, next.
Oh, that one's so easy.
Driving
Easy.
I honestly got to a point where I cared less about making it hard and just wanted to share my favorite posters. Yes, of course, it's Driving Miss Daisy. There we go.
That looks like my husband, like at this very moment.
All right,
I
next.
drive that poor man crazy. He's a
You
saint.
draw. Did anyone have the Muppet cassette tape album in like 92, 93 called Kermit Unpigged? It was like Kermit
Yeah.
Unplugged. Yes, they sang Drive Me Crazy between Kermit and Miss Piggy, and that was my first introduction to that song. So now anytime that I hear it, if it's not Muppets, it's wrong in my brain.
That's so
That's how I
funny.
feel about Weird Al songs. I
Yeah,
can't hear. I can't
exactly.
hear the real version anymore.
She drives me crazy. Oh, it's Piggy. Next. This is my favorite out of the whole bunch. I don't know if anyone will get it, but it makes me so happy.
Oh, I can't write this whole thing out. Oh my god.
Martha, you should know this if you listen to anything I say. If you take any interest in my interests as a parent, Martha, you'll know what this is.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, let's see. Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
what
what
did you
I
say?
meant. I said Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and I meant to say Midsummer Night's Dream. There's a midsummer and a midnight, and something's happening in the night. One of those two. I totally wrote Midnight in the Garden.
I'll give you a half point to combine
When
with
I
your
saw
wedding
Lauren's
points.
answer, I was like, that's what I meant to write. I totally didn't write that.
Oh, very good, Martha. You got it. Yeah.
Did you
Oh.
get it, Ajana?
I had no clue. I didn't even guess night.
Right. Like this image just makes me want a Muppet Midsummer Night's Dream.
Midsummer Night's Dream for sure. Yeah.
Like solely for just how good the donkey head Muppet is. Like,
Right.
I don't like. Actually, I think Jim Henson Creature Shop might have made. No, they didn't. I was gonna say I think they might have worked on the Kevin Kline Midsummer movie, but that was makeup and it wasn't an animatronic. Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity. Next.
Oh,
This is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, it's so good. Moon River, wider than a mile. You all get a point. I'm crossing you in style. Meow, meow. Okay. Next. I'm trying to remember. Oh, how many have I done?
Not enough.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. This is 10.
Okay, I'm trying to remember which one is the wager round. I think I have at least one more before the bonus round. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, wait. Are we getting literal here? Hold on.
Okay.
Did you see what?
Yeah, it looks like everyone said Bride of Frankenstein, which is correct. Okay. I think there's one more before the bonus round, but just in case, let's get everyone's wagers in right now. So it's going to be the same thing. You can wager however many points you like out of the points you have, and then you can double or you can lose it all. So, Lauren, you can wager up to 11 points.
I'm going to just go all in.
All in, okay. Jeanette, you can wager up to 9 points.
Same. All in.
And Ajanaclair, 9 as well.
All in.
Okay. Now, I think there's one more, but if there's not, we have a record. So here we go. Okay. This is not the bonus round, so you can get one more point. And if anyone gets this wrong, you deserve to lose.
Amen.
Best movie ever.
Piggy
Yay.
woman walking down the street.
That would be a really
Piggy
disturbing
woman.
actual movie.
It would be perfect.
I don't
Just
wanna see that.
Just imagine Piggy going back and yawing the mean shop girls.
Oh,
But
that
who
would be pretty
the friend?
That would be pretty
I was
funny.
just thinking, who would be Kit?
Who would be Kid?
Oh.
Oh yo. That's like my favorite line in the whole movie.
Wait, is Kit the friend? Is that Julia Roberts? Oh yeah, no, that would be Piggy, and then Julia Roberts would still be her.
Oh my God, can we get a Julia Roberts Muppet movie?
If
That
only
would be so awesome.
one can
Please.
dream. Okay. So here we go. So we are now moving into what is actually the final round. I have your bets. I think at least one of you will get this. I could give a massive hint, but I'm not going to. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I have an unfair advantage. Not really.
Oh, you kind of do, yeah.
Can we show? Okay.
Yeah, let's go. You all got it. It's Casablanca.
Ah,
Yes, I was about to say it's
It
one
was
of the
the
movies
hat.
we watched.
The hat was the dead giveaway. The
Nah.
hat and the coat. That
Oh,
was the
see, I was
giveaway.
thinking the lighting. The lighting
The
to me
sign,
is like
yeah.
pure Casablanca.
yeah,
Yeah.
all of it.
All right, and our undefeated champion for Oz Month Trivia, because it's the first time we've had one, is Lauren.
Woo!
Yay!
Victory lap. Victory lap.
How do I get rid of this? Hold on. There we go. Remove. Oops. No, I removed Ajanaclair. Now, how do I get rid of this? There we go. Well, that's like, how do I get rid of this? Then Ajanaclair is gone. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, and Martha did very well as well. Let's look at this. Perfect score. Tiffany's Bride of Frankenstein.
Wow.
Pretty well done. Well, Martha should be on one of these live streams.
I know. Oh my gosh. That would be
Right?
so-
Except Martha made a revelation to me recently. Martha told me that out of all the movies that she watched with me growing up as a kid, she was very rarely paying attention to them. She was like, I just sat in the room on family movie night and just like read a magazine, Matthew. I was like, what? So when she's like, I've never seen this movie, I'm like, yes, you have. We watched it when I was 8 years old, and we rented it from Roger's Video, and then we got popcorn, and then we watched it. She's like, you watched it. I was just there.
You see, you were such a good kid. You let your mother be. Joelle doesn't do that. If she wants me to watch a movie with her and I try to like multitask or look at my phone, you're not watching. And she'll come and grab my face and literally turn it. And she'll take her tablet and put it in my face. And she's like, look at it. And then it's like, at some point, you just become scared and you just look at it.
You're lucky your daughter wants to watch a movie with you. I'm like, I want to watch the new movie. And she's like, movies.
I wouldn't mind so much if it was a movie she wanted to watch. She always wants me to watch these stupid YouTube videos, and they are really stupid. And I'm just like, I don't want to watch that. Like, we can
It's
watch
Teacup For One, isn't it?
I wish I would watch that.
Oh, amazing. Oh, wait, we got some love here in the comments. Oh, that's Jeanette. Yay.
Yay for
Congratulations, Lauren. Amazing. All right, friends. Well, this has been a really, this made up for having to sit through that movie. Just getting to sit here and make up the time by confirming I wasn't the only one who felt this way about it.
No, you're not.
But like I said in our private group chat, we started things off weak, so it can only go uphill from here for the rest of Oz month.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm thoroughly excited. Any closing thoughts on Muppet Wizard of Oz, or just on Oz month in general, before we wrap things up for this evening?
If they redid it again, that would be great.
Yes.
If they could just do another Muppet Wizard of Oz, that would be cool. We can all forget this one.
Yeah. Because I love the concept of it. I love I love any kind of Wizard of Oz remake. I'm really just looking forward to the Wiz.
Yeah. Oh, me too. That's why it's last. We have to get there. We have to earn it.
Is it last?
It is last, yeah. Yeah. Well, I scheduled them in order of my least favorite to, well, I don't want to say my most favorite because Return to Oz is probably my most favorite out of them, but I think The Wiz is like the most exciting movie to end on. So yeah. So I programmed my two least favorite ones first. Muppet Wizard of Oz, then Oz the Great and Powerful, which I'm excited to revisit because I don't know if I like it or not. I remember just being so excited that there was a major Oz movie at the time that I think it clouded my judgment, and I was in denial for the fact that it's not as good as it could be, but we'll discuss that next week.
Yeah.
Yes. But yes. Anyway, so to wrap things up, yes, let's do the typical thing. We'll just let everyone sign off and let us know when we are going to see you back for Oz month. Let's start off with our friend Ajanaclair. Ajanaclair, tell us again about your channel, where we can find you, and when we can look forward to welcoming you back to the magical land of Oz.
So you can find me on Being Ajanaclair as well as The Wells World. We do unboxings, we do Disney, we do cocktails. It's a little hodgepodge. We do a little bit of everything. And I'll be back for The Wiz.
Yes, I cannot wait. All right. Well, ease on down the road. And until then, I was trying to think of a whiz pun, but I don't remember it well enough. So I'll see. Oh, I know. I will see you on a brand new day. Here we go.
Yes.
Jeanette, same question. Where can we find you, and when can we look forward to seeing you next?
So I'm at TinkerJ787 on Instagram. Hopefully very soon, within 9 days, we should be in Disney, fingers crossed.
Yes.
And we're road tripping it for the first time from Maryland, so maybe there'll be a little bit of that coverage too.
Nice.
And then I think the next time I'm back is Oz Great and Powerful. I know one of them is while I'm in Disney. I think it's Return to Oz, unfortunately.
Return to Oz is while you're in Disney. So you're back next week.
Back next week.
Exciting. Well, can't wait to see you. Thank you for joining us again, Jeanette. Bye-bye. And Lauren, same questions. Where can we find you, and when will we see you next?
You can find me on Castlescapes and Clones on YouTube. We do unboxings and hauls, pins, pin tag, Disney news, Disney reviews, and more. And you got me for the full 4, Matt. Yes. I am here for the long haul.
Amazing. Oh, I can't wait to see all of your doodles. There's going to be so many fun ones. As long as you draw TikTok for me in 2 weeks, I will be happy.
All right.
Amazing. Okay, deal. Thank you, Lauren. Farewell. All right, everyone. And if you are still with us, thank you so much for joining us for the first Oz Month live stream. Oh, we have new friends. Melik Adventures, thanks for joining us. Oh, you know what? Let's just do it all over again. Let's start over. No, sorry, Melik Adventures. We're actually wrapping things up right now, but thank you so much for popping in and saying hi. All of this will be available for you on the replay, and we are going to be back the same time, same channel for the next 3 weeks talking about different Oz movies. Next week, we have Oz the Great and Powerful. The following week, we have Return to Oz, and then the grand finale, The Wiz, Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Lena Horne. I can't remember who else is in it, but they're amazing. So lots to look forward to. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, friends. Once again, we have 10 people watching now. Where were all of you like an hour and a half ago? Okay. Anyway, while I have you here, friends, please subscribe, not just to me, but to all the awesome people who were here with us tonight. Again, we had Lauren from Castles, Capes, and Clones. We had Ajanaclair from Being Ajanaclair, as well as Zoel's World. And if you are an Instagram user, we had Jeanette, who is also known as TinkerJ787. Make sure that you go out and follow all of them because they put out incredible content. They are such fun people, and we look forward to welcoming them back for even more Oz Month discussions that'll probably be more productive than this one was. We're not just going to hate on the rest of the movies, even though that was a lot of fun. But anyway, once again, everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and this has been the Teacup for One. How do I end this?